You just came through this city's largest underground transport network. If you had the chance to go above ground, you'd have seen a completely different side of Syndicate. Grand buildings, meticulous design, stability, wealth, hope, everything was neat and orderly. This was West District's Inner Bay, the birthplace of this city's hypercube industry. People dammed the farthest end of this sea, carving out some relatively stable waters. They then dug deep mines in Inner Bay. The hypercube was the treasure they stole back with their wisdom from the fearsome Dis Sea. It was the only strategic resource of the era of Nightfall, and the bedrock of this city's prosperity and status. People were the foundation of Inner Bay's industry, and many talented workers gathered here. Back then, mech technology wasn't advanced to penetrate mania fields. Senior technicians had to manually operate mechs to dig one mine after another. In NF-84, the Dis Sea explosion occurred, giving birth to BR-000. By the time the Broken Front Line was formed, 95% of Inner Bay had been contaminated. Hypercube production plummeted, hitting this city's economic and political status hard. Inner Bay's workers were the ones who stayed behind in the ravaged mining zone to help this city pull through its most difficult period. They formed militias to fight the emerging gangsters, guarded the remaining mines against further contamination, and gave it their all to boost hypercube reserves. Sorry for saying so much, but that was the West District we were once so proud of. The people back then were the noblest of souls in the Golden Age. We all love Syndicate deeply. Next, let's talk about BR-002, which is the black ring you want to investigate. In NF-104, automated mining tech became common across East Side. On the other hand, due to contamination, outdated equipment, and work injury compensation costs, Inner Bay was deemed a negative asset by the higher-ups and was discarded. But the workers didn't want to give up. They begged the company to keep the mines and outdated equipment, so as to preserve West District's economic lifeline. In the end, the company agreed to the workers' demands on the condition that they gave up all claim to compensation. The two sides completed the handover of the largest mine, W31, on November 25th. Inner Bay won for Syndicate its own hypercube mine. But on November 28th, an incident erupted in W31. Workers got trapped, and contamination spread into the mine, which soon developed into a black ring. BR-002. We have very little data on BR-002. BR-000 and 002 were too close in proximity, triggering the mass spread of mania. BR-000 expanded rapidly and was barely halted at the FAC's third Broken Front Line. The radiation from the contaminated zone continued to seep out, eventually covering all of Inner Bay. The industrial zone became completely isolated from the outside world. Not even the FAC could penetrate this layer of contamination. After a few years, they confirmed that the M value inside disappeared, but could not confirm the reason why. So, they just left. The survivors of Inner Bay, including their family members, total around 200 people. Afterwards, the Drifter Camp was formed. As for those who were trapped in the mine, I could only confirm the names of 13,004 of them. The Romanesque monument was built in their honor. You asked us about our relationship with BR-002. This is it. I've also told you everything I know about BR-002. If you want to know more, please go to the next page. Since you've made it this far, welcome to Shelter W31. Like I said, this is the easiest place for you to complete your mission. Once you leave the shelter, you can take a boat across Inner Bay to mine W31 in 10 minutes. This is also the ruins of BR-002. This was once the Corpseborn's base. You said the half that fled is great at hiding because it leaves no traces, since all the contamination gets transferred to the dead half. Well, lucky you. Because the dead half is at the bottom of W31. Once you destroy this half, the other half will no longer be able to hide its contamination, naturally exposing itself. Rustfire will show you the way. The fighters here are at your command. This shelter, which has been a sanctuary for Inner Bay's workers since before the Broken Front line, has got your back. We couldn't let go of our past, so we came back and did what even the FAC couldn't. We used Inner Bay technology to resurrect the shelter, and stockpiled enough hypercubes to hold off the contamination. The battle might be tough, but you can always come back to recharge your supplies. If I told you this is your reward for helping the Drifter camp, you wouldn't believe me. You're always such a cautious person. Yes, we each have our own goals, but they're all for the future of Syndicate. If you're willing to guard our secret from your superiors, then please read on. Rustfire wants to recapture BR-002. Eliminate the Corpseborn, get rid of the Black Ring, and rebuild West District's mines.
You're reading too slowly, Mr. Chief. Let me read it out loud for you. I came here together with you, Chief. I read the rest already. Let me tell you their real motive. They want to take over a Black Ring and turn it into a mining zone for West District. Their next step is to engage in smuggling and collude with the Outlands to undermine the economy and security of Dis City. This is a serious crime. All of Dis City's hypercubes belong to the state. Any Black Ring ruins or leftover mines in West District are under the jurisdiction of the Executive Committee. Nirvana is the only company legally entitled to use them. Chief, you've made a great discovery. Come, let's wipe out these traitors together. Wait, you want to cover for them? You've made new friends since the Legion Rebellion? You want to betray us, the Ninth Agency, and Dis City again? Good reaction. Relax, I didn't come to fight. I just wanted to make this once-in-a-lifetime encounter with you more dramatic and memorable. Now let's have a proper introduction. Hello, Chief. I'm the Shelter Liaison. I'm also a Rustfire publicist, Syndicate War correspondent, renowned Drifter Camp author, Dis City ghostwriter, and the greatest romantic poet of our time. I am Ray, but you can call me by my beautiful pen name. Raven. I write poems with darkness, and I've come to record this magnificent mission. A perfect debut. It'd be even better if the audience would show some excitement. Yes, perfect. Smile and relax, just like that. You look better when you smile. My, still holding a grudge? I already told you, those were just some dramatic effects for my debut.
Don't resist the orders. Don't hinder the execution, or else.
It's part of a journalist's job to do undercover investigations. I've received special training in Eastside. Don't worry. Right now, the executive committee only regards you as a fool who's ignorant of the rules. Not an enemy. They don't dare touch you. After all, you've got the MBCC, FAC, and Ninth Agency behind you. I'm a top-notch reporter. Getting the inside scoop, catching eyes, stirring things up and making them go viral. I can do it all. Yes, but I have an office job. I don't like violence. I go undercover to collect intelligence and make my mark on the battleground of public opinion. More importantly, I witness, record, and broadcast those magnificent feats to ignite hope in people's hearts and attract more like-minded companions. People often praise my radiant presence by calling me grandiose. If they are the fire upon the rust, then I am the wind that sweeps the land. My words can spark a raging wildfire. Journalists are warriors too. The truth is just one of the weapons we wield. No, I fight for love. I love those who struggle in the dark. I love their souls that are torn by despair. I love their eyes that are awash with tears, and how they shine after suffering pain and torment. Tragic, dramatic, and brimming with passion, they cling onto the faintest sliver of hope and plunge into the darkness. The fiery sparks of their dreams are but drops in the ocean, to be forever devoured by the darkness. Yet, this is precisely why that fleeting spark is so dazzling. I must witness and record everything up close, so as to immortalize their lives in my poetry. That's right. I'd rather be regarded as the Dis City poet than a renowned journalist. My dream is for my poems to be read across this land for all eternity. You have the same look as Julian the first time I told him this. Most of the Rustfire folks had the same reaction. You'll get along just fine. But I actually looked forward to your arrival, dear Chief. Or should I say, I looked forward to the shackler of sinners, the destroyer of black rings, and the shepherd of this city. Tell me what you've been up to. I've missed out on so many things lately. Tell me about that riveting speech you gave in the Drifter camp. Tell me what you were thinking when you almost died from that fall. How did you convince the Legion? And how did you face Zoya's wrath? What was on your mind during the chaos of the carnival? Tell me about your sinners, your shackles, your superiors, and those who have died for you. Tell me about your lost memories and uncertain future. What kind of darkness have you witnessed? And why are you still here? What are you in pursuit of? Tell me. I will use every detail to craft the most authentic representation of you. Many believe you can bring about change. They look up to your resolve and yearn for your guidance, and long for you to lead and enlighten them. If I use my pen and paper to craft you into a star, to an idol, I'd definitely be able to create a heroic epic. Those in the dark yearn for light and hope the most. They need a hero! Will you be this hero? Become the object of my odes and realize each other's dreams? No problem. Remember these words, then. Play your role well. It really is hard for me to fight for you, write poems about you, and make sure you don't die at the same time. But I have a better plan to realize my dreams. After I become famous in Eastside, I'll return to Syndicate and work with Rustfire to open a school upon the ruins that'll educate the next generation. That way, my poems can be passed down generation after generation through my students. I've got my eyes on those two little sinners of yours. Children shouldn't be on the battlefield. Why not send them to be educated at my school? No worries. You fight your black ring, and I'll write my poems. We'll each live our best lives. In any case, the ensuing battle will be a much-needed ray of light for this dark era. Grave perils, dark secrets, and even a turning point in history. Plus you, an interesting soul. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. By the way, since we have some time to chat, I want to tell you that I sold those two kids of yours. I'm just joking. This one's not bad. Your gaze looks sharp and shows your fighting spirit. We leave in half an hour. I'll go prepare the mobilization. Apart from the elite few who will go down into the mine with you, the people waiting above also need some reassuring. Don't worry. With my writing skills, I'll be sure to paint a glowing picture of you.
Rustfire's propaganda style is a bit dramatic and sometimes stretches the truth. This is just to catch people's eyes. To win people over, we have to be seen first.
Uncover the truth, then use it to mobilize the public. See how excited everyone is? By the way, do you want to call Julian? He should be awake from his surgery by now. Even though communications are cut off in Inner Bay, I can use my Ink Raven for long-distance communication. You two leaders can mobilize together. Everyone, next up is the battle for BR-002. The future of Syndicate is here! All right. This is the fateful place where our hopes, glories, and comrades in arms are buried. West District might crumble, but even if we are buried, forgotten, and reduced to dust, we will never truly die. Go take back our minds. Take back West District's hypercubes, and everything else that rightfully belongs to us, including the future! 8 years ago, the fire snuffed out here. 8 years later, this is where the fire shall be rekindled.